Yeah, not a very good road trip. 1-5. Not very good, period, exclamation point. I mean, the Padres are just kind of staggering out there. They come home to play Milwaukee. Milwaukee is now the surprise team to me in baseball. I mean, they got 40 wins already and having lost all their pitchers in the offseason. That's absolutely amazing. They're a pretty complete baseball team. Padres have lost 11 of their last 17 games. I just have a problem with Mike Schildt. Just this constant barrage of positiveness about your team. I have confidence in these players. I respect their heart and how hard they work, etc. You're a less than 500 team. You're out of the wild card race right now with a $160 million payroll. He says, I have no concern. I know where my team's going to be in October. I'm starting to have concern about him as a manager because they continue to get guys thrown out on the bases in every form or fashion. They burned out the bullpen. Obviously, they got some guys nicked up, the pitching staff, et cetera. I'm just concerned about the managing style. I mean, we got sub 500 baseball. This is the third significant losing streak they've had this season with Mike Schildt. And there never seems to be any, quote, holding anybody to accountability. Now, that's a negative. Positive. How about that number 5 starter? How about Matt Waldron? How about he and that knuckleball, a.k.a. Phil Niekro and Charlie Huff, and back in the day, Hoyt Wilhelm? His last 8 starts, his ERA is 1.83.
Beautiful.
This is your number 5 starter who's saving the season for you, John. I mean, is that absolutely amazing?
Awesome.
So I'm becoming a fan of Matt Waldron and what he's done. Joe Musgrove, I don't like the things I'm hearing. He's going to throw a weighted ball for the first time now to test this elbow. I don't think this is going to go real well. He started to talk about, quote, changing the arm slot release. John, you can't change your mechanics as a pitcher in the middle of the season.
Right.
It just does not work. So I'm just really concerned that this bone spur thing is probably not going to go away. Feel bad for Tatis, feel bad for Machado. Fans are kind of bagging on him a little bit. Social media has been very unkind. They're hurt. You know, this at the end of this road trip, I saw Tatis pull up on fly balls that he'd never pulled up on before. And, my first thought, come on, is he loafing because they're losing? No, he's got a quad injury. And that's why he's slowed down. Can't run the bases the way he does. Machado has glided down to first base at times. And that, to me, is just a sign that the hip is not 100%. And he still doesn't have oomph in his swing. That's a byproduct of the elbow. But he antagonizes everything by making the comment about how the fans are viewing him on social media and how some are booing him. He said, well, it's the fans' thing to do what they want. I know what I'm doing. So he's in kind of denial that he's not playing very well. How about the kid? The kid in center field, Jackson Merrill. 5 home runs last 8 games.
Yeah.
This is the kid that hit 298 early and then was hitting in the 190s and now has come back. He's had 5 home runs in his last 8 games. So he's playing really, really well. So that's a Padre notebook. Sidebar story with the Dodgers. They just put Walker Buehler back on the disabled list. It's not an arm problem. They think it's a fatigue problem. He got hit by a line drive on the hip. That's the excuse they're using, but they're going to hit the reset button and he'll be gone 10 days, probably at least. He'll be able to throw, etc., but he's not the same pitcher right now, and he's had more bad outings now than he's had good outings. Got a 5.84 ERA. And speaking of rehab, in Rancho Cucamonga last night, Clayton Kershaw, first rehab start, 3 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts in a Class A California game. Only had to throw 36 pitches, 28 of them were strikes, and the guy was clocked at 91 miles an hour. So first rehab start back, pretty good there. But with Buehler going on the DL, the Dodgers have 16 players on the disabled list, which is absolutely amazing. And I just keep wondering, how many more can they afford to lose before this thing topples over? Of course, everybody is so far back in the National League West. How far can they go before this thing caves in on them? But they got more guys in the farm system. They think they're ready to call up, and obviously there's still the potential of a trade out there. So, John Riley, I filled the airwaves with my opinions on the Padres and Dodgers. It's your turn to respond.
Well, what do you expect Mike Schildt to say in a post-game presser? Yeah, Manny's slacking. He's not running hard. We've got no leadership in the dugout. I mean, what do you think he should say?
I think he should be honest that we're not playing real well. And
he does say that.
We're making too many mistakes on the base paths. And I need to rethink how the hell all these guys get picked off why we have the worst catchers throwing out runners in the National League, why we get guys tossed out at home plate. They've run themselves out of so many rallies because of stupidity or carelessness or taking gambles. So Schildt needs to do a little public evaluation of why we're calling what we're calling. I mean, he has no control over Darvish. Darvish, by the way, got lit up at Fort Wayne last night. He has no control over the Musgrove injuries. And, I'm not critical of Tatis and Machado. I see it. They can't run. And now whether or not there should be plans, another question, whether somebody should have gone on the disabled list. But I do think there are things going on during the game that bother me that Schildt never stands up and said, my fault, my mistake.
Well, he will say that sometimes.
When?
He does take blame on some cases.
They're sub 500.
Well, they're not doing well. I agree with you there. But it seems like every manager the Padres have had, going back to Andy Green and all of them, they always cover for the players. Oh, we're grinding. They're working hard. It makes you wonder if Schildt is like a mouthpiece for AJ and some of his front office guys, that they're trying to protect them, or are they afraid of? Are they walking on eggshells in that clubhouse because they're afraid Machado is going to go to the dark side?
He's managing a sub 500 team with $160 million payroll. There has to be some accountability somewhere, and I think it should start with him on him. And I'm not bagging on injury players. I'm just not. But I just think there have been too many breakdowns in the field, etc. You're a Padre fan? Join us. Fans Forum. Chat box is open. You agree with me that he's not tough enough on his team. He's maybe not tough enough criticizing himself. Padre fans, they're coming off a lousy road trip, and now they got first place team, Milwaukee, and then they got first place teams in a week or so, and they go back out on the road for 9 more road games. So Padre fans, your thoughts on the Dodgers? They topple over here?
It's like a mash unit up there. Yeah. I mean, it's 16 guys. But, on social media, people were ripping you, Lee, for saying that, I don't know about the Dodgers. Will they have enough guys? Is anyone going to catch them? And the Dodger fans are not worried at all. They're like, we've got so much depth. We've got a great organization. We can lose Mookie for 2 months and we're still going to win this easy.
Well, I think they also have resources. They can make this Luis Robert trade from the White Sox, and that's the hottest rumor going on as we go towards the trading deadline. And we've seen things change in baseball. Everybody used to wait till August 1st before they make a transaction. Now guys are doing it in June. AJ Preller did it in May. So they've got the resources to go get another guy, another bat. And Robert in the Dodger lineup, I think, would be pretty doggone dangerous. And, they're not going to have Mookie for at least 8 weeks. And I don't know how many more pitchers they can afford to wind up on the disabled list. So I think there's at least one transaction coming from the Dodgers. And they got players at Oak City, and they got players at AA. So I think there's going to be a Dodger trade.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. But the Dodgers always able to pull a rabbit out of their hat, aren't they?
No, because they are deep, and because they have deep pockets, and because they scout well. I mean, you saw the column I wrote on Dodger baseball this week, and one man's opinion column.
Oh, yeah.
I trust that they'll make a deal because they always make deals, and they don't make very many mistakes on their player acquisitions as compared to somebody in San Diego. Okay, so we got Padres and Dodgers notes. Fans Forum chat box is open. From that,